Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 109 of the GVGCast. I am once again your host for today, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined by my good friend and GVG partner today, Derek Bittner. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing all right. And I also want to shout out our good friend and also GVG partner, Daniel Alba, who is still kind of feeling under the weather, but he is running the show in the back end, being a trooper. He's still getting plenty of stuff done behind the scenes. So give a round of applause for Daniel, even though he's not feeling 100%. He's still working super hard. So we love you, man. And we hope you're back in front of the mic pretty soon. Nice.
My man is
Nice.
all thumbs.
Yeah. But no, I'm okay, man. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. The Izuka interview is finally up and on the channel. I'm really happy that's done, and people are getting to see it, and it's been very well received. So I feel very accomplished on that front. And yeah, looking forward to the weekend, and happy to be here with you, chatting about everything as usual. And I know today we got to chat about some Mega Man because you've been working through the first few Mega Man games on your personal streams, right?
Right. Well, you say first view. I guess I've started, but yeah, I'm doing the whole Castlevania thing for Mega Man. Started that whole thing up, and as of right now, I've gotten through 4 games: Mega
Okay.
Man 1 through 3 and Mega Man DOS.
Right, right,
So,
okay. Yeah.
um,
And we will definitely come back to that later because I want to have a little discussion with you about what we kind of went into it in partner chat in our Discord about Mega
yeah, I
Man 2
had some
versus
thoughts
3.
after finishing 3, and it's like
Yeah.
I do want to talk to you about that.
For sure. We will definitely get there. But before we get too much into it, we have a couple of patron birthday shout outs. Happy birthday to Eastman23, who is celebrating their birthday today. So
Ooh,
happy
happy
birthday
birthday!
to you, Eastman23. And then happy almost birthday to SimFan, who will be celebrating theirs next Thursday, the 18th. But I won't be on next week's show because I'll be at Evo next weekend. So I figured I'd just go ahead and
God,
shout
is
you out.
Evo already next weekend?
If you
Oh
can
my
believe it,
God.
yep. It's earlier than it used to be. It used to be in early August. Now it's in late July. It's kind of crazy.
Oh man. It's our
Yeah,
next chance of maybe getting Tifa and Tekken.
exactly. God, that would be the dream, right? That would be so
Yeah.
cool.
Honestly, the cool thing I'm looking forward to is we're likely going to get the first trailer, a gameplay trailer of Terry in SF6.
Exactly. Yeah, I figure that's probably coming at Evo, and we also might get a new look at 2XKO or double KO, however people are saying it, which is looking pretty cool. But yeah,
Mhm.
the big thing
I,
for me would definitely be Terry gameplay trailer in Street Fighter
mhm.
6.
I am also going to make the prediction that we'll get a release date for the Marvel collection. I
Oh,
mean,
we might actually. That would be really cool.
like they got it to the wide market with the direct, and like, okay, it's coming out now
Yeah.
for the fighting game crowd.
Dude, can you imagine a shadow drop at Evo or after
Oh
Evo?
man,
The last things they do before Evo closes is guess what? The collection is available right now.
people would lose their minds.
That would be, I mean, and to be there in the crowd when that happens would be amazing. I hope they do that now. The only difficult problem would be I wouldn't be able to play it right then and there. Well, actually, I have my Switch with me in the hotel room, so actually, I feasibly could.
Possibly, but I feel like a lot of people there would not be able to play it. Like the crowd that would buy it up right away would not be able to play it right away, which is a bit of a
Yeah,
shame.
but I would think maybe we'll at least get a release date announcement. We know it's coming later this year. We're more than halfway through the year, so that would be the right place to drop a release date announcement if they have one yet. I
I'm
think
expecting September, maybe late August.
that sounds about right. Yeah, I think so. Um, but yeah, Evo's already here, and basically, yeah, like my wife and I go with her sister and her sister's husband every year now, and we've gotten them really into competitive fighting games too, and they love watching it now as well. So we just make it an
Mhm.
annual thing now, and it's always a lot of fun. Wish you could come with us sometime, man. I know it's
Yeah,
obviously very difficult with the kids and the family and everything, but
yeah, it's definitely one of the harder ones to get to. But everything I've seen of Evo just looks fun.
yeah,
Um,
it really is a lot of fun.
Even though
And
I don't
also,
really play fighting games a ton, but I've definitely grown to appreciate them.
yeah. Professor Bonk in our patron chat makes a good point, saying that would defeat the purpose of having only 3 games of it playable there. So yeah, they're not going to shadow drop it.
Yeah. Then
But
September. I'm
I
expecting a
forgot
release
about
date.
that. Yeah, yeah, I think release date could definitely happen. So before we get into our whole mega debate, what are you playing right now besides Mega Man games for your personal streams?
Uh, Honestly, mostly Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail.
Hmm.
just making my way through that. I only go through the main story quest when I'm able to play with Amy, so it's been slow going on
Okay.
that front. But so we're about at the level 91 quest, level 92, so it's still very early in. But what I've played, I've really enjoyed. And when I'm on my own, I've been working on leveling up the new Viper class, which you'd probably get a kick out of, Ash, because
Oh
it
yeah.
is, you know, Zidane twin bladed weapon.
Oh, yeah, they're called swallows in Chrono Cross at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically that is the Viper weapon. It's
Mm.
or is, and then for certain combos it connects into one, double bladed weapon for
I love
uh
those weapons. They're so cool looking.
it's immediately why I gravitated towards it. It's like, this is awesome. And it's the rotations and the way that you play through it. It's a very fast moving attacker and really good at AoEs. So it just has this much more unique feel than what I've been playing, which is Dragoon, and making me very tempted to permanently switch. So it's
Nice.
fun. But the new area is gorgeous. Has that awesome South American flair so far. Um, it's just been a good time, even though it's slow going. And I pretty much all the Final Fantasy 14 friends we know have already beaten the game
Oh, okay.
because they're able to take off work. Like literally, one of our other friends was able to take their kid to their parents' house and let them them watch him for like 4 or 5 days while they
Uh-huh.
played Fantasy 14.
Do you lose any like progress if you permanently switch job classes like that?
No, see, that's the
Okay.
brilliant thing about 14 is that your one character can do all the jobs.
That's so cool.
It's just each job levels individually. So
Gotcha.
you'll be a level, I mean, like I'm a level 92 Dragoon, but I
Mhm.
have a level 85 Viper, for example. Or I go
Nice.
to
Okay, cool.
Red Mage and it's something else, or start a completely new one and it's level 1. But later classes tend to start at later levels. So for
Okay.
example, if you wanted to start at, go to the new Pictomancer as well, based on Realm from 6. It is you'll start at level 80. So you
Very
don't have
cool.
to go from 1 to 100 to get for that one.
Got
It's
it.
just
Okay.
80 to 100.
Got it.
So allows for a ton of flexibility. And um, I've not played Pictomancer, but Amy chose that for her new class. And from what I can tell, that thing puts out the damage like crazy to the point
Oh
that
yeah.
tanks can struggle to keep enmity from from the Pictomancer, like keep the
Oh, the aggro.
enemies on them. Yeah, the
Mhm.
aggro. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Very
That's
cool. Very
it's
cool.
it's just been cool. I know a lot of people play 14, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But
Sure, sure.
it is fun. Otherwise, I beat Bloodborne for the first time.
Oh, nice.
As part of the other part of my streams, I tried out the Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit fan
It's
remake.
so good, right?
That is so much more than I was expecting. My
Mhm.
God.
They went
It,
ham on that remake.
the,
It
the fact that they made it work as if it was a epilogue to Sonic 3 is kind of amazing.
it yeah, I mean it almost goes seamlessly from the end of Sonic 3 and Knuckles into that. It's so cool the way they did it. I was so
Yeah.
impressed with that.
And they have a friggin' explanation for why Knuckles is one of the Triple Trouble.
Right, right. No, I was so impressed with how they handled that, and you talking about it makes me want to go like play it again because I had so much fun just
Mhm.
exploring what they did with that remake.
Honestly, it's Mania quality in my opinion.
It's it's up there, honestly. I have to play it again to see, but it really is up there. It's yeah. Now I
Mhm.
want to play Mania again. I always want to play Mania though. That game never gets old.
Yeah, like you need an excuse to play Mania.
Exactly,
Uh,
right?
the other thing I actually tried out last night, is for the streams, because I have this new thing now. Where I have like single sessions
Mhm.
where people are just like, "Hey, check this out! Check out this game." So I checked out the demo for Unicorn Overlord. Have
Oh,
you
right.
played that yet?
I have not yet. I just haven't really had
Oh,
time.
oh my God! I was the same
I've
way
heard
where I
it's
wasn't.
very good.
The graphics are amazing. The when as you see how it opens up, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's like
Mhm.
you sort of get it. And there's definitely that I don't know, that intrigue. It's one of those things like I want to play 14. I want to play
Hmm.
7 Rebirth. I want to play 16. And now that fourth game in there, it's like find
I
time to
know.
play when I get through those is gonna maybe have to slide in Unicorn Overlord just because it was a ton of fun.
You gotta finish Seven Rebirth at some point, man. You have
I
to.
know. I know. It's I want to, but it's 14 is taken over, so I
No,
will get
no, I
back there.
understand. Yeah.
I'm split
Um,
between 3 quality Final Fantasy titles. I can't
no,
win.
it's
Well,
true.
I
Final
always
Fantasy fans
I'm
have
like I'm
really been
winning, but
eating
I'm also
lately.
losing.
Yeah. And then of course we're getting, not just Final Fantasy, we're getting DQ3 later this year, and it's a good time to be an RPG fan, that's for sure.
Good, but also hard because there's
Yeah.
so much to
I
play.
mean, I still have Octopath Traveler 2 unfinished waiting in the wings, and I wish I
Yeah,
had time to play that because it's excellent. It is
I haven't
excellent.
started that up, and I want to try it. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Um, but yeah, I mean, basically, same with me. I haven't really changed too much of what I'm playing. I'm still kind of working on Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, of course. Haven't had too much time for gaming lately, just because as I said last year or last week, I was stretched very thin between some freelance projects I was working on, as well as the Izuka interview that is finally up this week, thankfully. So hopefully next week I should have a little more time. But I am now. I just finished Chapter 5 in Thousand Year Door. But now, of course, thanks to Nintendo really cooking with NSO lately, now I'm kind of like nursing a playthrough of Starfy 1 because they just dropped all three Starfy GBA games on NSO. And I'm like, well, I love the Starfy game on DS that they actually did bring over. So, of course, I want to play the first three because I never had a chance to. So there's that. I'm also nursing a playthrough of Shovel Knight because it's the 10th anniversary and doing the 10th anniversary interview with the Yacht Club crew for the upcoming art book just made me want to play Shovel Knight again because it's amazing, obviously.
there.
But the game I am mainly working on still is Thousand Year Door, and I'm chipping away at it. Going to be starting Chapter 6 this weekend, maybe even tonight. Oh, Professor Bonk, don't do this to me. Saying, you know what Starfleet on NSO means? Rhythm Team Goku has a chance, baby. Don't do that. You're
Well,
right.
I no, that's what I've been saying. People are like unsure about NSO, but I feel NSO has been getting stronger and stronger all the time because I've just been
Yeah.
paying attention to what gets released, and it's way more frequent than people realize.
No, they've really been
It
cooking lately. I have to admit.
Yeah, I honestly think I know this excites people, but I'm 90% sure that we'll eventually see the Hamtaro games
Oh yeah, you think so?
on the GBA NSO. Because Nintendo published those.
Right. Okay.
So I think,
So that wouldn't be
and
too
I
surprising.
yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising. Oh, it's why we got Quest for Camelot. So it's just one
Right.
of those weird thing. But yeah, there's GBA has so many potential games to get.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Kubo Phoenix mentions, we haven't gotten Wario Land 4 yet.
True. That seems like a
There's
major one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Not to
some
have on there.
big Game Boy Advance titles they have not put on there yet, and it'd be cool to see. The funny thing about the Starfy games coming in there, it just always makes me remember. Um, so the DS was region free. So when I got the chance to go to Japan back in 2008 as part of a graduation present. I was like looking for games that I could easily play on my DS. And not have access to here. So I
Yeah.
picked up Jump Ultimate Stars because that was never going to come out. So that was
Yeah.
also good. But then I was like, I'm gonna need like translations and stuff to figure out what the heck I'm doing and all that. So let's find something simple. Everybody talks about these Starfy games. You know what? I'm gonna get this Starfy game on DS. I
Mhm.
swear to God, I'm pretty sure not 6 months later, the
Yep.
Legendary Starfy got announced for localization. And I never picked it up because I had the Japanese version, but I also never played that because I got kind of beyond the first little bit that I played on the trip because I was so upset. It's like, really, you did this
Yeah.
to me?
That's the worst timing. God. That's
Yeah,
still a cool game to
it's
have, the Japanese version of though.
true. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice. I mean, I guess it prepares me for the Game Boy games.
Yeah, and I've played through the first three worlds of Starfy 1 so far, and it's exactly what you'd expect in terms of if you play the DS game. It's a very basic Kirby-esque, very cute, low difficulty platformer, but it's just fun. It's feel good, it's cute, it looks nice, the sprite work is great, pretty colors. It's just pleasant.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Thank you, by the way, to those of you who said you enjoyed the Izik interview, Amarag and Bisonhauer. Really appreciate that. I'm so
that
glad it
really
was
went
super
out to
well
all the
received.
Sonic news sites.
That went, man, especially the Sonic RPG bit where Izuka said he wants to make a Sonic RPG. That even hit IGN. IGN made a story
Oh
out of that.
yeah,
That
I
was
did.
crazy. Yeah. Um,
Nobody
but
thought to
yeah,
ask him about an RPG.
I know,
Shame.
right? And I have to credit Cutie Caitlin with that because I opened up the questions to our producers on our Patreon as well, and Caitlin submitted that question. So I asked it, but she was the one who submitted it. So definitely have to
That's
give her
perfect.
credit for that. Yeah. Um,
Amazing.
but yeah, and thank you, Bolt Mouse X. Super appreciate it. But yeah, so I'm just working on Paper Mario. When I have a
How,
few minutes here and there, I'm
how goes Dual Destinies? Because I know you were playing that not too
oh
long
right.
ago.
So that, yeah, okay. So thankfully, Bissell and I, my wife and I, last weekend, we were able to push through and get through the end of the second case. That easily is a top three worst case. Ace Attorney 5-2 sucks so hard. Oh my God, what a terrible case that was. Um, but now I looked up the recommended order, and people generally tend to say that you're supposed to play the DLC case between 2 and 3. And so I'm happy
Okay.
to report that we started the DLC case, and it rules. It absolutely
I
rules.
I don't know if I want to spoil it or not, but there's one witness in particular that I know of from that case that was heavily advertised for that DLC case. So I was like, that's just fun.
Yeah, like, and I don't want to spoil it, but the fact who you're defending is hilarious, and it is
I don't
so
know who you're
very
defending in that. I just know one of the
okay.
people in the witness stand.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say anything that would spoil it because it is so unique as an Ace Attorney case. And yeah, but so as awful as case 2 was, the DLC case has been so much better, and it feels like we're just sailing again. But yeah,
Nice.
the if I ever hear or see the words Tenma Taro before the heat death of the universe, it'll be too soon. What a terrible case. Okay, I can't keep talking about it because it's making me annoyed. So let's talk some Mega Man. So you and I were talking in our partner chat, and you were kind of going back and forth, hemming and hawing a bit on which you prefer, and it is an age-old debate. So many people have debated this. Which is better, Mega Man 2 or 3? And you were kind of on the fence, right?
See, that was the weird thing because I'm playing through these games and I'm intentionally I don't have the weaknesses down pat. Like when I went
Mhm.
into Mega Man 3, and obviously I'll be doing more talk about this later. When I went into Mega Man 3, the only weakness that I could remember was that Hard Man was weak to Magnet Man.
Okay.
That's it. I couldn't remember the order after that. But I couldn't quite beat Magnet Man first, so I went to Top Man and beat them first, and I was like, okay, what are they effective against? And it definitely took a bit more to figure out what did what. And I generally felt going through that the stages were harder
Yeah,
for the Robot Masters than Mega Man 2. Like they are out for blood in some cases where it just feels like
definitely.
you're just getting dogpiled in a lot of cases, which I couldn't didn't really remember the first time I ever played it. It just stuck out to me this time around. Um, and then of course you have the Doc robots, which is by far the worst part of Mega Man 3.
Right.
I did it on my own, figured out the weaknesses and got through it, but I ate through all my E tanks and oh, it was
Those
a
fights are really cheap, it feels like to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things like I feel like it would have been so much better if the Doc robots were not Doc robots. They were just the bosses back again.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not that? Why put them in the Doc robots? The only thing I could think of is to make them feel a little different, but it doesn't feel different. They just feel cheaper because you got these really mobile robot masters in bigger bodies, and it sucks.
Yeah. And their collision damage is so high. They do
Mhm.
so much damage when they run into you, and it's so
Yeah.
hard to avoid that. Those are definitely, I agree. The Doc Robot stages, but more the actual Doc Robot fights are easily the weakest part of Mega Man 3, I think.
See, the going back through, the stages are samey, but I did pay more attention to what they changed this time around, and there's
Hmm.
more significant changes than I ever really realized. Even some environmental stuff some of them to show that like oh they were destroyed before because of the previous encounter. So that's fine, but it's the Doc robots themselves that really bring it down. And then you get past the Doc robots, you get to Wily's castle, and it's a breeze. Like
Yeah.
hardly any challenge at all.
It's so easy compared to the rest of the game, yeah.
And I had an epiphany as I was playing through this. It's like, no wonder it's hard to choose between Mega Man 2 and 3 because with Mega Man 2, you have absolutely brilliant and um, well balanced Robot Master levels
Mhm,
with an utter crap Wily Castle.
mhm,
Mega Man 3 is the opposite, where you have some
exactly.
really rough, not so great for Wily Castle stuff, and then you have a pretty decent fair Wily's Castle.
Mhm,
It's very odd. And so it's like when you just look at it from a level standpoint, I think they're completely even. But it's when you add in the other stuff where
mhm.
Mega Man 3 is like, here's Rush, here's Proto Man, here's the slide maneuver. It's like, I think that's where Mega Man 3 starts to overtake Mega Man 2.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
The slide in particular, I mean, well, Rush as well, but, like, the slide in particular adds so much to Mega Man's moment-to-moment gameplay and just opens up so many, new movement options, dodging options. It just makes the gameplay feel more dynamic. And I said this at the time, and I still believe it now. I think removing the slide and to a lesser extent the charge shot from 9 and 10 was a mistake. I think that
oh,
was that made the gameplay feel a little bit too much regressed. And I would, if it had been up to me, I never would have removed either of them. And I'm so glad 11 then came out and proved no, you can still make a great Mega Man game that's balanced around Mega Man being able to slide and do charge shots.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It makes no sense that they got rid of him other than 2 being held up as this pinnacle of the series.
yeah,
And honestly, you can see why 2 is raised up so much because it is the most significant increase in quality from game to game. And I
yeah,
think that's why 2 gets held up so much more than others because you go from 1 to 2 and it's like, "Oh my god. This
yeah,
is so much better." And that's the thing I'm trying to keep my mind open for as I'm playing through the rest of these, especially Mega Man Classic games. What do they change? I want to try to see if I can find a bit more of appreciate. I can't talk about. I can't talk. An appreciation of 4 and 5 in particular because I love 6 is my favorite. So
right.
4 and 5 are the two that I'm interested to go into and see how I feel looking at what they brought to the table on their own and not trying to do this direct comparison type thing.
hmm Six has aged really well, and so is five, in my opinion. As you know, five is my personal favorite, but I also like six a lot as well. And I think honestly, my favorite set of three adjacent Mega Man games in the classic series is five, six, and seven. Like that to me, game to game, is the strongest. The just trilogy. It's not really a trilogy, but you know what I mean. The strongest set of three games adjacent in the whole series. And I know I think Hobo Phoenix in our Twitch chat said they like Mega Man 7 a lot as well. I think they just finished it. Yeah, 7 is really, really good. I know Bolt Mouse, you're a big 7 fan as well. Yeah, Mega Man 7 rocks. No pun intended. It's really good. Um, but yeah, it's Mega Man 2. I think you're right. I think one of the reasons it gets held up the way it does is because it is the single, obviously, biggest improvement from game to game. I guess you could make an argument for Mega Man and Base to Mega Man 9 if you wanted to, but I think 1 and 2 probably makes more sense. But I feel as though so many people overlook what 2 does badly. Like 2 is not it's far from a perfect game. And like you were saying earlier, and I agree, Derek, the Wily Castle is one of the weaker ones in the series, and the in particular, Wily Stage 4 with the Boo Beam trap, that is just garbage level design, garbage
And I
boss.
fell to it. I made that
Yeah,
one misfired shot where I thought I turned and I didn't, and I messed it up. And
it's
honestly, I
awful.
like when you're prepared for it. Okay, it sucks that it wastes time. You can get through it, but you can get through it. The part that got me, and I was so mad, was the fact that if you get game over, you'll lose all your E tanks. That is
Right.
devastating because the final Wily fight, if you don't know the weaknesses, it is a massive pain trying to figure out how to dodge those attacks. They
It's
are
really hard.
so wonky compared to everything else.
Yeah, especially I know you were playing on difficult, which is the Japanese version's, standard
Normal.
difficulty. And yeah, that final boss, like it can if you're used to playing on normal, it's very easy to forget how hard that boss is on difficult, especially with no E tanks.
I've only ever played on difficult because I know that's
Uh-huh.
the normal Japanese. And I never found it be I don't find these games to be impossibly difficult to
Right.
complete. I don't. It's not
And yeah,
like
I never have either.
Castlevania 3 US.
Right.
Castlevania 3 US is brutally difficult to finish.
Yeah. I've
Um,
heard. I've never done it myself, but I've heard it's incredibly hard.
yeah, it is not kind in the slightest. Um, so yeah, that's where I kind of came, but I think it is they're very much even when it comes to their level like setups because again,
Mhm.
they're just sort of flipped. But I think 3 adds a bit more to the um formula.
I
Where
agree. And
2 is a refinement of what 1 introduced, while 3 is a solidification. Like the only thing you're missing after 3 is the charge shot
right.
as far as Mega Man's base abilities.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think I know people prop up Mega Man 2's soundtrack deservedly because it's amazing, but I also think Mega Man 3's soundtrack is top notch, excellent stuff. So
I,
to me, neither really has the advantage musically. I think they're both
yeah,
10 out of
like
10.
Wily Castle 1/2 is obviously iconic for Mega Man as
Right.
far as that, but I feel like nobody talks about the fact that Wily Castle 3 slash I think 4 in Mega Man 3 is a low key banger. Like
It's
I
so
always forget
good.
about that, but I started playing. I'm like, oh holy hell, I forgot about this. This is so good.
Yeah, the best Wily Castle themes are the ones that kind of have that pervasive sense of kind of sadness and emotionality to them. Like you kind of get in the headspace Mega Man himself must be in. Like I'm so goddamn tired of this guy. I don't want to fight. I never asked for any of
But
this. And
also, I'm not going to
yeah,
actually stop him. I'm just going to leave after.
yeah,
Although he gets crushed in 3, so he's like you
right,
presume he's dead, and well, both of them get crushed. But yeah,
right. I can't remember. Have you played Mega Man 7 yet? Have you
I
played it
not
before?
I've played it before. I've played every single classic game before.
Okay, okay,
Well, NES, well, the main classic games, I should say. I've never played Mega Man Base. I've only played Dr. Wily's Revenge, which is the next game I'm playing.
okay. Nice.
Um,
But yeah, Mega Man 7 is great. I can't wait to hear your updated thoughts when you get there. But did you know that speaking of Mega Man 3's music, the Wily Castle theme and the ending theme both have parts that you never hear because they screen transition too quickly. Like you never get to hear the
oh,
full song play out. So if you look up those songs, it's the Wily Castle intro theme and then the ending theme where you see the portraits of all the characters like Roll and Mega Man. If you look up those tracks, there's like a whole part past where the screen transitions that you never get to hear in the game.
huh.
It's pretty
I
cool.
had no idea. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
the credits or the ending theme in particular goes really hard past the point that you get to hear in the game. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying doing these because it's fascinating going through and looking at them. It makes me like Jones to just get to the next one and play that. But
Yeah.
um, the review I have going up this weekend for on Sunday is for Mega Man DOS, and you should play Mega Man DOS. It's on my abandonware, and it is a trip.
It's wild. That one I have played, and I think it's Mega Man 3 DOS I haven't played. But Mega Man
Yeah.
DOS it's a trip, as you said.
Have you beaten it?
No, I never bothered. I never bothered.
Oh my god.
I didn't. I couldn't stomach it.
I did it. I did it.
Hell yeah, you
Man,
did.
it's just the weirdest thing, but also strangely playable. I
Uh
don't
huh.
like that's the weird thing to me is like it's not good in any sense of of the word, but it's also more playable than than you would assume.
Right. I am
It's
really curious to see what you are going to end up thinking is better slash more playable between DOS and X6 and X7. Those
I
are when you get those, I can't wait, man. I
I
can't
have
wait.
heard Mega Man 3 DOS is much worse than Mega Man 1 DOS.
I believe I've
Uh,
heard that as well. Yeah.
so I don't I don't know. We'll find out. I have quite the lineup ahead of me before I get to that one. Because,
Right.
like I said, I have Dr. Wily's Revenge next, then Mega Man 4, then Mega Man 2 on Game Boy, and then the Mega Man 3 DOS.
Nice.
So
I'm definitely curious
it's
to hear your thoughts on you haven't played the Game Boy games, right?
only Dr. Wily's Revenge. I picked that up on
Okay.
3DS, but didn't beat
Man,
it. But
I can't wait for you to get to 3, 4, 3, 4, and 5 for Game Boy. They are 4 and 5 especially are peak classic Mega Man. They're so good.
You know what's weird? Mega Man 5 Game Boy came out after Mega Man X.
Isn't that strange? I know. Isn't that
Yeah,
wild?
it's a weird thing, but there it is. It's like when you realize the release order of some of these, it's weird. Like Mega Man Soccer came out after after Mega Man X.
Right. And didn't Mega Man 6 come out after X, or was that right
No,
before 6?
six. That's
Right
just,
before
if
X.
I have my dates here. In Japan, Mega Man 6 released in November 5th, 1993.
Okay.
Mega Man X released December 17th, 1993.
Right. Okay. And then they both came out in early '94 in the US, I think.
Yes.
Is that
Oh,
right? Yeah.
also, other fun fact here. Mega Man 4 Game Boy released October 29th, 1993. So there was a 6 or 7 day gap between Mega Man 4 and 6.
Wow.
And
Oh,
then a little
better
over a month
days.
between X. Yeah. That's when you were
Better
really getting
days.
your Mega Man games.
Yeah. That and during the Battle Network and Zero era where you were getting like multiple releases a year. And that, it could be argued that's what kind of led to Mega Man getting a little bit too saturated and leading to where we are now. But man, I sure miss when we had at least one game a year to look forward to, or one every 2 years.
Yeah, that'd be nice,
Yeah.
especially because 11 was good.
Yeah,
So,
I really liked it, and 12, a Mega Man 12 that builds on 11 and maybe is a little less safe, I think would be really exciting. But who knows if that'll ever happen? Capcom gonna Capcom. I don't know. Well, before we move on to our patron topics, there's one more thing I want to talk about with you really quick because we both share a love of Mega Man, but another thing we share a love of is survival horror games and horror games in
mm,
general. And I know Steve and Brandon are going to be talking about this on their upcoming episode of The Win, their podcast they do together. So I wanted to talk about this with you. Emio. What is going on with Emio, man? Nintendo randomly drops this creepy ass teaser. I think it was on Wednesday or Tuesday. And it's rated MA 15 plus slash restricted 13 in Australia for strong themes, violence, suicide references slash themes, cruelty, and domestic abuse. What? And then, of course, I watched the trailer. It's creepy, man, but I'm into it. What about you?
this might be Nintendo's most effective marketing they've ever done.
Right?
Like, like all they did was just show up, drop a trailer, say nothing else, and
Yeah.
leave. And it became an instant meme
Yep.
where anything Nintendo does is like, where's Emio? Or, we need an Emio amiibo or Emio for Smash, that sort of thing. Like everybody is just, it's just a thing now. And I think that's the tricky part here is that can they follow up on this? Can they fulfill this? Because obviously they have people's attention now. But is it going to be garbage or is it actually going to be something that really pulls people in and is effective, I guess, as a survival horror, as something interesting? Yeah, I like wait. I don't know. I don't know how they
Yeah.
pull it out. Like what they do.
I really hope whatever it turns out to be is great because I am all about a really good horror game. And we've never seen anything quite like this from Nintendo, and we have no idea who's really making it, if they have a development partner on it, if they're outsourcing it. Like, there's so much mystery surrounding this, and this could easily have been something that they talked about during the recent direct, but they clearly left it off on purpose, and now they're just doing this random Twitter drop of a tease, and I'm like, I want to know more. Like, I never expected to see something like that from Nintendo, and I mean, I guess the last time that I could even think of anything close would be Eternal Darkness. And that wasn't in-house developed. So yeah, like what's
Hmm.
going on with it? All I know is I want to know more.
I'm trying to think about other Nintendo franchises that have sort of the darker elements to it. The closest
Hmm.
I get, and I've not played these at all, but the sense I get is the ones like behind what's it called? Um the two games that just got two visual novels that you reviewed, you and Steve.
Oh, Famicom
Uh
Detective Club.
Famicom Detective Club. Like
Right.
some elements of that I think sort of match this vibe. And then also I think Hotel Dusk also has a bit.
I
Maybe
didn't play
creepy
it, so I
vibe.
couldn't
I
tell
didn't
you.
play it, so I don't know,
Yeah.
but has a bit of that. So I'm wondering if they're gonna go that route because we don't know the genre. Like we know it's scary, but we don't know the genre. We don't know what that's all about. Like I don't know. I don't know where they can go from there.
Yeah, I don't either. And as Cutie Caitlin is saying in our, or sorry, Kato Knots in our live audience chat, she just really wonders who the creative leads are because if it is Nintendo in-house, she'll be 1,000,000% more fascinated than she already is. Same. It's hard to imagine this being an in-house game, but man, if it is, yeah, I mean, sign me up even more. But you already got me with the hook with the, I like I said, I love me a good horror game, so. As I mentioned at Summer Game Fest Play Days last month, one of the coolest games I saw there was that game Fear the Spotlight, which is intentionally going for that lo-fi Silent Hill 1-esque vibe, and it does it so well. So I'm all for innovation in the horror game space, and yeah, I can't wait to see more about this. And I wonder when we'll see it. It's just this isn't normal for Nintendo to do this things this way.
I have to potentially this could see a release in October, like theoretically, you know.
Hmm.
Um, maybe I don't know. I don't know. We don't even
Yeah,
know if Emio is like the name of this. What is it? Yeah, Emio is the name of this game.
yeah,
It could not be
we know
named that at
so
all.
yeah, we know that's how little we know about it. But hopefully, we don't have to wait too much longer to find out more. So, because you'd think that Nintendo wouldn't want to go too long, so just so people don't forget about it. So hopefully, it'll be
I can see
sooner
them
rather than
dropping it.
later.
Yeah, I can see them dropping it pretty soon. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of hmm.
yeah,
I don't know where they'll go with it. There's a
right.
lot of different ways. I mean, Nintendo didn't develop themselves, but Eternal Darkness was well dark. You literally have to defeat enemies by chopping off body parts and their heads and whatnot. So
Yeah,
there definitely is that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see them. It seems to go more definitely more psychological than anything else, and that's always
that's what
fun.
I
That
go
has
for. Yeah,
has
like
some
I mean,
potential.
zombies are great, and slasher films can be really fun, sure, but it's that psychological horror that really gets me, or supernatural horror, stuff more like you see in Silent Hill and things like Fatal Frame that really get me more than the other stuff.
The funny thing is, people act like this is weird for Nintendo, but Nintendo does scary elements well. People are still freaked out by certain things from Twilight Princess or Mario or whatever, you know. Imagine playing Emio and actually having a Mario piano situation in an actual horror game and what that'd be
Oh,
like.
right, yeah.
Like that's the thing is like they can do creepy things very well, but it's not in a creepy game ostensibly. It's just a creepy thing that's in one of the normal games and all of a sudden there it is. Like again, imagine if Tears of the Kingdom was a more of a horror game, and you got I forget the hands
The
that come
gloom
out and
hands,
grab you,
yeah.
like the gloom hands, like those chasing you, just going down a hallway, and here's these gloom
Oh, that
hands
would be
just
so
coming your
good.
way, that type of thing. And I'm also thinking of like if Nintendo was, utilizing the HD Rumble a bit more, and I know you hate this, like the idea, but it's unfortunately the first thing that came to my head is that bugs crawling over you, so you can feel them, like the
No,
haptics and the controller,
that would be
like
really
sort of
cool, actually.
simulating bugs in your hand.
Yeah. I mean, of course I would hate that, but it would be like a good kind of okay, that's effective type thing. I'm really glad Astrobot's not going to be a horror game because imagine with the stuff they do with the haptics in that game and Astro's
Oh yeah,
Playroom. Imagine if it was I couldn't handle it. But it's true. Zelda has flirted with horror before between the Gloom Hands and Tears of the Kingdom, Dead Hand and Ocarina of Time. That one really creepy cutscene in Twilight Princess. Not really the rest of it, but that one cutscene was really creepy with Link's like white eyes.
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
the fangs on the Yeti.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, Hendrix Truck says bug haptics would rule. You can keep your bug haptics, thanks. I'm good. I'm good. Um, so it's because you mentioned this that I have to bring this up really quickly. But earlier when we were talking about horror games, you brought up body parts, and I have to use that as a perfect segue to really quickly mention that of all things making a comeback, Cho Aniki is making a comeback. And now, for those of you who don't know what Cho Aniki is, it's essentially a series of homoerotic shmups, and they're really cool and weird looking and awesome all in one. And it's coming back. The last mainline Cho Aniki game, as I understand it, was for PSP in 2009. And so that means 12 years, or sorry, what, 14 years later, 15 years later, we are getting a new Show Aniki game. Kato Knots is very, very excited about it. And have you played any of these, Derek?
I played a little bit of Cho Aniki that came on the TurboGrafx 16
Okay.
mini, and it's
Yeah.
it's weird, but it's also a competent shooter.
Yeah,
So
they're
there's
good
that.
games. I
Like
don't remember
it's
which
not
one
like
I've played.
bad, but it's also just so weird that you're just like, what the
It's
hell?
it's just absolutely pun very much intended, balls to the wall insanity, and I love it. Like the visuals are just unlike anything you'll see in anything else, and yeah, I don't know which one I played. I guess it might have been the PS1, the one that you can, Cater Knots mentioned you can play on PS3 in the West. I think that's probably the one I've played.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, Pound Chow, if you like weird, you got to play this. You got to check, or at least look up a video of it because it's weird, but in the best way. So there's literally nothing else like it.
I- I'm
And
looking at the article that you put up, and I didn't realize this, that even in Japan it's referred to as a bakage or idiot game.
I didn't see that actually. That's funny.
That's good.
That's
Um,
great.
I mean, some of the titles here translated, I didn't even know this. We got the Cho Aniki is just Super Big Brother, but then
Yeah.
there's others like Super Big Brother, the ultimate most powerful man in the Milky Way, or Super Big Brother, Legend of the Holy Protein.
That's my favorite one. Legend of the Holy Protein is that's a banger of a title. It's so good. But yeah, so I had to bring that up since you mentioned body parts, and I was like, wait, no, that's too perfect a segue not to use. But yeah, that's I think that's it for our kind of main segment for this week. But of course, as always, we have topics suggested by our amazing patrons to chat about. And as a reminder, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/gvgaming, where if you support us at the producer tier or above for just $10 a month, you can suggest topics just like the ones we're about to discuss right now. And Derek, go ahead, man.
Sure. Mine comes from Drink to the Past. Something nice and easy, just interesting, but also yummy because I haven't had one in a while.
Nice.
We're getting donuts. What kind you getting? For me, Boston cream dunked in black coffee for days.
That sounds
And
really good.
I'm not a coffee guy, but
Right.
I love me some Boston cream donuts. I think Boston cream might be my favorite, with a close second, honestly, being apple fritters.
Oh, apple fritters are really good. Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, like kind of anything at Krispy Kreme. Like Krispy Kreme for me, I know people are very love or hate. Some people don't think Krispy Kremes are good at all. Some people love them. I am on the love side. I think Krispy Kremes are amazing, and I'm kind of uncomplicated when it comes to them. I just like me some good chocolate iced Krispy Kremes. Like those are probably my favorite donut. But I mean, Boston Cream's also really good. Apple fritters, as you said. Um, I also like the occasional jelly donut.
Yeah, jelly donuts can be good. I will say Boston cream, not Boston cream. The Krispy Kreme can be good, but I also kind of stay away from them because to me they're a bit overpriced. They're
That's
like
fair.
they cost so much. I've looked at some,
They
like
are.
I had a kick out of it because I saw like a package at the store and it was themed to Dolly Parton. I'm like, what the heck? And I looked at it and it's
That's random.
like $10 for six.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
I'm like,
definitely you're paying
what?
for the brand.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's a local place and there's another place that's near where I usually vacation with friends, where you get fresh donuts. You get to choose everything you want, and it's always going to be a whole donut. So you're not going to be able to get like a Boston cream or anything like that. But it is made right there, and you get to pick all the toppings. So you get to choose how it's dipped, what kind of sprinkles or other
Whoa.
goodies are on top of it. Fresh fruit. It is freshly made, warm, and it is so good. If you want yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Duck donuts. They've been spreading out more and more.
Damn. Okay.
If you see duck donuts that's made fresh in front of you, and you can just get all these varieties,
I
it's
am
so good.
I am looking it up on my phone right now. Are there duck donuts anywhere near me?
I think it's an
Uh,
East Coast thing at the moment. It's spreading a bit
Irvine.
more, but
It's in
because it
Irvine, but that's like 30 minutes away from me, or 30 miles away
oh
from me. Next time I go to Irvine, though, I'll
that
have to
it's
remember.
worth it. I
Yeah.
du- I know they're called duck donuts because they originally originated in a place called Duck.
Oh, that's so okay. Nice. I was wondering where that
Yeah.
came from. Okay.
Yeah, that's that. As Pick Miner says, they melt in your mouth. It is just that fresh. It's really nice. Um, Otherwise, as a kid, my favorite kind of donut was actually the glazed chocolate donuts. Yeah, that's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
kid based.
I mean, and that's still basically my favorite at Krispy Kreme. It's just a good old chocolate glazed donut. I just think they're really good, and if you heat them up a little bit, no, they just melt in your mouth, man. They're so
See
good.
that's why you gotta have duck, man.
Yeah, okay. I gotta next time I go to Irvine, it's happening for sure. Also, I agree with Beisenhauer that Azrad's choice of blueberry cake is underrated. Blueberry cake donuts are good.
Ooh, that is good.
Completely agreed. And then
Yeah.
our good friend she says from Boundary Breaks in our Twitch chat saying Krispy Kremes raspberry filled are one of a kind. And yes, I completely agree with that.
Let's see here. I'm just looking up duck donuts. So they have some fan favorites they already made up, for example, but they have like very combinations like blueberry pancake, cinnamon bun, chocolate covered
Ooh,
strawberry, cookies and cream, peanut butter paradise, s'mores. The
a
bo-
cinnamon bun donut sounds amazing. 'Cause I love me a good cinnamon bun. Like, sign me up anytime for a good ass homemade cinnamon bun. And yeah, cinnamon bun donut. I don't know, man. That might be too
By the way,
much.
not sponsored, just really good.
Right? Yeah. Although if they want to reach out, we're
Oh yeah,
certainly
seriously.
send us some test packs of duck donuts. Sure. Yeah. But no, a cinnamon bun donut might be flying too close to the sun. I'm not sure. It might be too good.
Mm, maybe.
Shipley donut says Bolt Mouse. I've never heard of Shipley donuts.
I've never heard of Amish donuts from Becca.
Me neither.
I know that
And
there's I grew up in Dutch Pennsylvania, and there was always Foshnot Day, so we had Foshnots even at school. Where it's just it's literally I think it's like before Fat Tuesday. They had all the extra lard, and they just make a bunch of dough and like donuts that way, and it's like a sort of a thicker, a heavier donut, but it's still really
mhm,
good. Either get them glazed
nice.
or sugar or what have you, but donuts are yummy.
Mega Nerd X in their first time chat mentioned Gideon's cookies at Disney Springs. I've actually tried Gideon's before, and they are very good. $6 a cookie, so you know you're definitely paying for it, but it's
Is
really
it a
good.
big cookie or
Sorry,
is it a big cookie or is it a normal
they're
size?
just really good. I mean, they're like I'd say they're pretty decent size. They're not too small, but they're just really decadent. They're just really rich and just really
Right.
well made. You know, like homemade
Mm,
Toll House cookies type things.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we can all agree donuts are fantastic. And thank you for that topic, A Drink to the Past. My topic this week comes from Azran, who asks, what do you look for in a vehicle in a video game, and how does it compare to what you look for in a vehicle in the real world? And I gotta say, this isn't something I ever have even thought about. So that's why I picked it,
Mm,
because it's just so damn unique. And I can say, you know, I play a lot of racing games, especially arcade racers, and I'm usually going for the lighter cars that have better cornering. I definitely
mm,
prefer to have more cornering handling, easier drifting. So I don't go for top speed as much as I do cornering. And that's typically how I play a lot of my racing games. I guess except for Mario Kart weirdly, because I usually go, yeah, like I usually main Rosalina and Pauline in Mario Kart. So, and they're like the heaviest weight class. So that's, and they go the fastest. But Other than Mario Kart, I tend to go for cornering and such. In real life, though, the main thing for me is that I just want a convertible top. That's the only thing. Like everything else, as long as it's got a decent enough stereo, decent enough air conditioning. I like smaller, sportier cars for sure. I don't like big cars because you have to do a lot of parallel parking out here in LA. So I definitely
Mhm.
prefer smaller cars. But really, the thing for me is I just love having the wind in my face, the wind in my hair, having that direct contact with the weather, unless it's too hot like it is right now. So for me, I just want a convertible top. And it doesn't have to be like a super expensive, sporty convertible, just a convertible top, good AC, good enough stereo. I'm good to go. That's my main thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as you when it comes to cars and racing games, though. I always prefer um, cars that focus on acceleration and handling. Top speed, no, 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 thank you. I don't like feeling loose in a car
Mhm.
because I feel, for the most part, that I'm probably going to crash into something more often than not. So I'd rather be able to get my acceleration back up so I can catch up to those things because
Mhm.
I don't like how, as if you're more of a speed character or speed car, you can get those high speeds, but you make one mistake and you're slowing down like crazy. So that's whatever. Definitely like to go for the more acceleration or better grip type cars, especially when I have a choice. Um, and that's obviously where I like for F-Zero, we have that slider. I put it
Uh-huh.
as close to acceleration as I can without like losing all speed, just
Mhm.
in order to you know, feel comfortable in that way. But yeah, that's not too. It's honestly, it's been so long since I played a just core racing game. It's
Yeah.
like other than Mario Kart, which is a shame because I loved like Burnout, Burnout 3, Burnout Paradise, Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit from the Criterion guys. It's
Mhm.
like, man, where's it been? I know that there was a recent Need for Speed that apparently was pretty good. Um, I've not really tried out the Forza games, but I also don't have an Xbox, so
Right.
I don't use an
Forza
Xbox unless
Horizon is
unless it's
so good. Horizon 5 is just amazing.
yeah. Um, so yeah, it's what I tend to go towards. As far as my actual car, I am not a car guy in the slightest, which I think makes my dad sad because he's a mechanic and loves cars. He has he loves those
Oh.
classic cars. There used to be like a car show in our hometown that we'd go to, and you see all the old like classics, the Chevys, and I don't even know. It's like the really really nice old cars that you'd see, like where it's impressive to see, but I don't know it
Yeah,
somehow, so
same.
I don't because I don't care,
Yeah,
um, in any major way. Um, so for me, is it fuel efficient and can it get me from point A to point B? That's all I care about.
for sure. I'm the
So
same way when it comes to like my dad's not a mechanic, but he is a car buff. Like he loves having like, he just loves legacy cars and muscle cars and just loves all the stuff under the hood and I just could not care less. I hear you.
yeah, like he had all these classic cars, Camaros, and all these stuff as when he was a kid. But he also he was also kind of a wild driver as a kid, growing up in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, having a bit of a bit more of gas to him when it comes to that sort of thing. He told me a story one time where he was just had one of his muscle cars driving around and had a set of train tracks that he was about to cross. Except it was not like flat where it typically is. I don't know how it is for you in California because it's sort of hilly here. So it's
Mhm.
a hill, then the train tracks, and then there's hills on the other
Oh,
side.
geez. Okay.
He ramped it. He ramped it, like revved
Really?
up,
Oh my god.
launched it over that thing, landed on the other side. He said he could feel the car bottom out,
Oh.
screwed it all up underneath. He constantly did that sort of stuff because he was just a wild stuntman type thing. He just loved
Wow.
the speed and he just went reckless with it. But he knows his cars. He's a dang good mechanic. Knows what's up. But no, I don't. I could never do that sort of thing.
Same. My dad loves his fast cars, and like he'll sometimes when I'll be in his car, he'll just be on we'll be on the freeway without anyone around him. He'll just punch it and free. I'm like
Yep.
holding my breath because
Yep.
I just don't need that kind of speed in my life. I just really
Nope.
don't. I'm fine just chilling at 70 miles per hour, occasionally 80. But I don't. He'll just punch it to go to like 100 occasionally, and I'm like, no,
Yep.
I don't. No, I'm good.
Like,
It freaks me
man,
out.
if my dad was better on on planes, I'd say I got to get you to the Autobahn,
Right. Yeah.
just so you could let loose. Um, yeah, he's definitely more of a car guy. Although I will say, I might have said this story before. Um, I, he made Gran Turismo for me the most fun I ever had with it
Oh,
because I was
really?
on yeah, because I was on vacation once and everybody was always talking about how good the Gran Turismo series is. So eventually I picked up Gran Turismo 3 just to see what it was all about because it was always super pretty and it was definitely in a car phase as far as racing games and whatnot. So I decided to check it out. Couldn't get into it, just too realistic. But I decided to like, hey dad, check this out. It's realistic cars and stuff, so you can see what it's like at the beach while we were just hanging out. And didn't do too well. And he starts like looking at the stats of it, like how it's all set up in the car and whatnot. And I was thinking about how it felt as far as driving and how stiff it was and all these other things. So he starts going like, oh, do this, change this. Yep. Go to there. Okay. Let's move this there and do this there. And I went to race it the next time, first place with no issue because he
Amazing.
tuned that thing to perfection. And I'm like, oh, this is where the fun is. If I actually knew what the hell I was talking about when it came to cars, this game would be way more fun.
I
So
love
that
it.
was nice bonding moment. It's the only time we really played, but it's still like it's a nice memory.
I can't play like simulation racing
No,
games for that exact reason because I don't understand the technical car stuff, which is why I prefer arcade racers because I don't need to. I can just drift around hairpin corners at 400 miles per hour, and it doesn't need to make sense, and it just
exactly.
happens. Yeah. So, yeah, well, it's turned out to be such an interesting discussion, and again, a topic I never would have even considered. So, thank
Mm.
you for that, Azran. And that has been our patron topics for the week. But before we head out, we also have one more very special patron birthday to shout out. Happy birthday to Lionheart. Hope you have a really, really, really good one. And
Thanks.
sending you all the birthday love we can. And with that said, that pretty much brings us to the end of episode 109 of the GVG cast. Anything else you want to mention, Derek?
Not that I can think of.
Gotcha,
Uh,
gotcha. I will mention one thing actually, and that is that I just kicked off our latest PAX badge giveaway today. We are giving away a few 4-day badges for PAX West 2024, both on Twitter and on our YouTube community page and in our Discord. So if you want to, if you feel like you might be free to go to PAX West 2024 and want to try to win a badge through us, just check out our Twitter or check out our YouTube community page or the announcements channel in our Discord for instructions on how to enter and the entry deadline and everything like that. So good luck to those of you who are entering. I wish you all the best of luck. And that'll do it for us for episode 109 of the GVG cast. As always, we have to give a special shout out to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make everything we do happen because we could not do it without you. So thank you so very much. And as always, we have to give an extra special shout out to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, amazing, wonderful folks include Brandon Bovia, Fangs, Z Patty, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Blake, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedran, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Geeky Griffin, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Andrew Medeiros, Darchi, Becca, Esax08, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Ryaner, Game Bear Advance, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Rosa Pardo Bowling, Hi Steve's Mom, Darksteel01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, Derek, Colin, Twilord, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, Jim Wakeland, Aramis Baramis, Lord Metarex, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat Evie Person 5, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Ryan Hanley, Somnia, The Game Jamie, Zombie Joe, Very Master Ninja, and last but never ever least, Marathon Max. Thank you all so much for joining us for GVGcast episode 109. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week for episode 110. Good night and good vibes, everybody.
Hi.